Hello, welcome back to Shak's Talks. I'm Shakti, and it's almost 2024 now. This is the very end of the year. We just passed through the winter solstice, and I've been doing a lot of deep reflection. It's the dark time of year where my energy goes deep, 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 deep down into my depths of my soul. And it's kind of gnarly. It's actually feeling really good right now because I think I came through a tunnel of sorts and the full moon in Cancer kind of popped me out back into the light. So I'm feeling good. The days are going to start getting longer again. And I've been thinking about what I want to do with this channel. So I feel like I owe it to us all to do a little recap of the year in UFOs and UAPs. And I might talk a little bit about this book that I'm reading that I mentioned that I was going to start last time. And then I think we're going to do an earth blessing to close out the year and just a little prayer or meditation over the globe together. So, this year was a huge year in UFO news, and for me, it all started with going to this conference, Contact in the Desert 2023, back in the springtime. It was, well, spring into summer. I think it was the end of May, sometime around there. And it was really exciting for me. It was really eye-opening, and I learned so much, and it ignited this passion to research and to talk to more people about this topic and find more people to follow. And it's been a whole year of cool learnings for me when it comes to all of this. And it's been a huge year for the collective when it comes to this because we had the July hearings. We were introduced to David Fravor, David Grush, and Ryan Graves. I almost forgot his name. We had a NASA briefing where they said openly that they're going to study UAP, even though we kind of know they probably have some studies going on, but they're making an open statement that it's a thing and they're looking into it. We had the Mexican hearings and the little alien bodies that everyone was making fun of for the rest of the summer. And we had the Schumer Rounds Amendment, which recently basically got gutted. It lost a lot of the things that were going to make it so powerful, which is no surprise to me. I never expected that to pass. But there will still be some form of legislation, some kind of amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act and like the Information Act, I think. So there will be some type of amendment in place. It's just not going to have the power to go and take things from private companies, basically. So what have we learned and what are the big takeaways and what do I think about it all? Well, what we've really learned is that the UFO topic is complex and multifaceted. There is a nuts and bolts aspect to it, and there is a spiritual aspect to it. There is a kind of a muddy area of misunderstanding that exists between those ends of the spectrum, but the reality is this phenomena touches all of it. And we as a people have been aware of it maybe forever in different little pockets and communities, and the governments have known about it and been pretty aware of some tangible evidence of it since maybe around the 30s is the general consensus. And there have been reverse engineering programs and secret programs going on since then. This is like my big picture understanding. There's also a new emerging interest in the spiritual side of the phenomena with people like Chris Bledsoe getting a lot of attention and Diana Walsh Pasulka's work. And there are creatives and artists who have joined the conversation because something that we've all learned is that the non-physical phenomena that is experienceable potentially to all humans has some kind of tie to creativity and the way that our brains function. And so there are things about certain creative people that lead them to these experiences more frequently than others. And there is a lot of exciting stuff happening in terms of our continued exploration of the nature of consciousness through science. Tom Campbell is still moving forward with his work. He's almost 80 now, and he is still completely healthy and coherent and just committed to his cause. And we have a whole kind of pop culture phenomena of people on the internet talking about things like manifestation and the law of attraction. And this has been going on for years. I'd say 2012 kind of tipped us in this direction of thinking about things more spiritually, in a non-religious sense. And so, what does it all mean? Well, for me, what it means is that we live in an exciting reality. And although there are great tragedies happening right now, like this war that's raging, or this genocide, if you want to call it that, because that's what it is, um, there's a lot of sad shit going on all the time. There are people who are not coping well with life, there are people who are leaving reality because they can't handle it, and people who are struggling with all kinds of issues. And so I don't think that for me, I cannot live in this world without some type of spiritual perspective and grounding, because it would be too difficult. And due to my own mental ups and downs and my own chemical tendencies, like, I need to frame reality in a way that makes me want to stay alive. So I feel really excited about learning about the nature of consciousness and other paranormal things, because it's kind of the edge of what is known, and that fills me with so much curiosity and excitement that it actually keeps me going. So that's why I focus on these things, even though I'm well aware of the fact that there are all kinds of things we could be focusing on. And I think it's up to each of us to follow our impulses and follow our hearts and pursue the interests that matter to us and take up the causes that we feel that we can have an impact in, on, with. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is an unscripted episode, so you're going to get some grammatical errors. I hope you don't mind. So let's talk about this book. Above Black, Project Preserve Destiny. This book, I am almost done with it. A couple more chapters to go. This is basically about a man who was in some kind of military career and got identified and pinpointed to take part in a secret program, and through that process learned that he had been born to a human mother, but there was some kind of alien interference with the pregnancy. And he is what they call an intuitive communicator. So it's kind of like similar to a lot of the psychic stuff that we've been talking about. He was identified for his intuitive abilities, and then he was trained in a secret underground facility through a number of protocols to be able to influence these sine waves. So he was like kind of a telekinetic thing, you could say. But I, from my Tom Campbell perspective, would say that he was primed to be able to influence reality and future probabilities with his intent, and specifically around communication. So they wanted him to help with alien communications, according to him. And I'm not done with it yet, so I haven't actually gotten into like the juicy conversational parts, but he did start having a conversation with an alien in one of these settings that he was trained to do. They weren't physically in the same space together. It was more like a telepathic communication with some technology involved. And he and that being started moving the communication to a different channel. So they were like moving their energy to a different channel so that they couldn't be recorded. And, you know, it's interesting stuff. I mean, even if this is all stories that people make up, it's fucking cool to me. And I am an artist and I have a creative job. So I love just letting my mind go wild and think about all these things. When I consider it as a possible truth, it's definitely plausible in my mind. It's pretty specific and there's not a lot of like intrigue baked into this piece of work. It's very much like a report of things that have occurred by someone who's not a writer. So I find it interesting. And in terms of next year and Shocks Talks and what am I going to do with this channel, I really don't know. I feel like I've said what I need to say about the alien topic. I mean, there's always going to be cool tidbits of little news stories to report and things will be happening and there's always more research to do and like I'll be doing that forever. I just don't know if I want to make videos in the same way I was. So I might try something completely different because it's really fun to just play around and do different creative things and I like making videos, so I might try talking about other books that I read that have nothing to do with aliens, or I might try talking about something else. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll stick with Shocks Talks, but I need to kind of take a little break and regroup and reassess my time and my energy and think about what matters to me, and then I'll come back with something sparkling and new, and hopefully it'll be fun and entertaining and interesting and informative because those are all the things that I really value in content that I consume. And since I have a great job, I don't need to do this for money, so I will not be trying to do all the things that YouTubers do to make their channel super popular because that feels exhausting and I'm sure it can be gamified and I'm sure it can be fun for some people, but I'd rather just focus on doing something that feels meaningful to me, and if nobody else even sees it, that'll be fine. So, I'm gonna ring this singing bowl and then we're gonna bless the earth. Sweet, dear Mother Earth, beautiful gem of the universe, I love you so much. You give us life and all that we need to exist and to create. You're full of so much beauty. You're so powerful, majestic, harmonious. You're covered in the most beautiful water, precious resource. You're covered in a blanket of clouds, the most beautiful sky that keeps us all held in your love. It is my promise to you that for as long as I live, I will be grateful that I am yours and that you are mine. I will appreciate your beauty, and I will do my best to learn and evolve to support your needs. As you change and evolve, so will I, and we'll grow together in the ways that are best for all people, creatures, beings, plants, for all elements and all energies that are a part of this system of life. I love you. Thank you. Love your mother.